House come to order. Members, proceed to your seats. Will the members please rise to the invocation delivered by Dr. Jeff Eaton, Hope Community Church of Frankfort, Kentucky, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thanks for your service. Please be safe going home. Let's pray together. Lord, we don't forget that you've given us a glorious, beautiful morning. Thank you for that. In the simplicity of our thanks, thank you for the air that we breathe. It is by your grace that we are even here, and we thank you for your grace and your mercy upon us. We thank you, Lord, for the blessing that you have sent us in Jesus himself. And Lord, I know you continue to bless us, but we know from your word and the experience of Christ that if you never, ever give us another blessing on this earth, you sending your son for us is enough. And we thank you for him. We know he's also the Prince of Peace. And Lord, we pray peace over our world, over our nation. Lord, settle our own hearts here. May our hearts turn back to you. Bring us peace, Lord, into our state with each other, Lord, and peace in this chamber, peace in our hearts, and that our hearts will be found loyal to you. I just want to give a prayer of thank you for all that you've done and all that you promised to do. It's in the name of Jesus I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Clerk will sound the chimes, and members indicate your presence. Clerk will take the roll. Being 90 members indicating their presence, quorum is declared and the House is ready to proceed. Next order of business, the excuse of absent members. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the absent members be excused in accordance with the House rules.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules for the purpose of allowing members to co-sponsor bills and resolutions or to submit vote modifications and have filed the proper papers with the clerk to do so.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order of business, the approval of the journal. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, before the motion to approve the journal, I would wish to yield to the clerk of the Senate.
Chair recognizes the clerk of the Senate. Good Friday morning, Madam Clerk.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. The Senate has passed Senate Bills 59, 137, 177, and 199, and respectfully request concurrence of this honorable body.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the journal from Thursday, March 5, 2026 be approved.
Without objection, the journal from Thursday, March 5th, 2025 is approved. Next order of business, the second reading of bills. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 407 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Proctor, an act relating to Certificate of Need. House Bill 535 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Flannery, an act relating to investor-owned electric utilities and declaring an emergency. House Bill 667, Representative Ballman, an act relating to solid waste management service companies. House Bill 669 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Meade, an act relating to child welfare. House Bill 676 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Raymer, an act relating to the Kentucky statewide health data utility. House Bill 677 with House Committee Amendment 1, Representative Gooch, an act relating to geologic sequestration of carbon dioxide. House Bill 686, Representative Moser, an act relating to the Kentucky Positive Youth Development Commission. House Bill 689, Representative Neighbors, an act relating to the establishment of a Medicaid state-directed payment program. House Bill 713 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Nemus, an act relating to workplace violence against healthcare professionals. House Concurrent Resolution 36 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Lockett, a concurrent resolution establishing the Child Welfare and Family Court Reform Task Force. And House Joint Resolution 77, Representative Smith, a joint resolution directing the Energy Planning and Inventory Commission to conduct a comprehensive assessment of coal resource viability and energy affordability in eastern Kentucky and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is report of committees, there being no need. Next order of business is the orders of the day. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 542 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 542 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 542, an act relating to eminent domain and declaring an emergency. Representative Dossett.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Christian 9 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Christian 9 for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ask the clerk to report House Committee Sub 1.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 542.
Gentleman from Christian.
Move adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Christian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, House Bill 542 is a very important piece of legislation to me, both personally and historically, looking at things that I have grown up hearing about there within my community in Christian County of individuals that were moved off the camp at Fort Campbell in the late 1940s and had moved into Christian County. Also, I grew up hearing all my life of the fact that my grandparents, who owned a farm in Trigg County, were moved out of that area where their farm was located in the late 1940s when Lake Barkley was created. They never complained. They understood the importance of what was going on, why they had to move, but they never felt like they were fairly treated during the process. Now, while I have the opportunity, I'd like to share a little tidbit of information concerning my grandparents. My grandmother Garva and my granddad Lynn Boyd were lifetime residents of Trigg County. My granddad Lynn's family was part of the original settlers that settled Trigg County in the late 1700s, early 1800s. My granddad Lynn is named after a cousin, a distant cousin of mine, who was a former member of this body representing Callaway County, Lady Callaway, in the 1820s, serving along with his father in this same body at the same time representing Trigg County. Lady of Callaway, gentleman of Christian 8. Later, he was elected to the United States Congress as a member of the House of Representatives. And in the 1850s, he was Speaker of the House of the United States Representatives, and later elected as Lieutenant Governor of the Commonwealth. Although he was never sworn in, he passed away. But, Lady of Jefferson, and I hope this sways with some of the members of our Democrat caucus, he was elected to those positions as a Democrat. So, very proud, and I wish my mom were here to hear me share that information, background of our family. Now, we return to House Bill 542. Which, as I said, is a very important piece of legislation. The goal is to improve communication and transparency during negotiations with property owners and those authorities that have the power to condemn. We are including conservation easements, agricultural districts, and all property owners in this. Some of the things that we have in place in this legislation: condemner, employees, or agents cannot make any false or misleading statements during negotiations. Property owners will be properly notified by certified mail, hand-delivered, or signed for. If that property owner decides not to accept, then the condemning authority under sworn statement will say that property owner would not accept delivery. Surveys, studies, and appraisals will use up-to-date data. I'll share with you, I have a situation in Christian County right now that I'm working on where we found out on a project they were looking at stormwater management, and they were using data dating back, FEMA data dating back to the early 2000s. It was not up to date. We will allow the property owners to be able to, if they wish, to have an appraisal, and those appraisals can be used through the entire process of the negotiation. So they feel they know the true value of their real estate and their property. Negotiations will continue through the entire time frame. Direct access will be allowed, and this is directed in particular toward agricultural property, but direct access will be allowed to property that is being worked upon right there to make sure that in the event there's a farmer working crop, they're able to get in and plant, they're able to get in and harvest. And any improvements on agricultural property, such as fencing, water lines, drain tiles to take water off the property, those things, etc., will be used in determining the fair market value. Those things don't come into play currently now unless it goes into the court process. We want those at the very beginning. The ultimate goal of House Bill 542 is transparency and saving of finances of dollars for both sides when you're looking at the legal costs that would go into play. So if we can prevent either the property owner or the condemning authority having to go to court, this is going to save money in the long run. With that, if there aren't any questions, I'd move passage of House Bill 542 as amended by House Committee Sub 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 542 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Allen for discussion of the matter.
Gentleman, yield to a question.
He will yield.
Gentlemen, the appraisals that you're talking about being done for the property owner, is that paid for by the state or by the property owner themselves?
Gentleman from Christian.
Property owner.
Okay. Speak on the bill, please. Speak on the bill. So, I won't go through the history lesson too much, but we will speak on House Bill 542. All my life, I have have done this work. Started out in 1989 as a staff appraiser and a negotiator for the Highway Department. So I appreciate the gentleman allowing me to work with him on this bill. I do want to talk about the other side just a little bit. You know, one bad apple can spoil a whole bushel, and we every now and then do have a bad apple. But as a general rule, we've always tried to do what is right by the property owner. We've always tried to go out and praise the property at the highest we could justify it. You know, it's never a good situation, and we always understood that when you're going out and walking into somebody's home and you're going to buy property that they didn't want to sell. They didn't want to sell that property, and we knew that. But with the power of eminent domain, you knew that the end result was that property was going to be used for the project that it was designed for. Now, I do appreciate the bill and the higher bar being set by going to the court system and determining if this is the only route, if this is the only way we could go. You know, I was asked one time by a supervisor when I was in the office, because I'd been out and met with a property owner. I was asked by him, he said, "Whose side are you on? Ours or theirs?" And I said, "Well, when I'm in here, I'm on the property owner's side. When I'm in there, I'm relaying your all's message. I'm the go-between between you all. And I want to do that. I want to do that in a manner that is respectful to both sides." You know, I do think that some of the biggest issues we have is the attitude that you go in talking to the property owner. If you realize that the shoe could be on your foot one of these days and you treat people like you'd want to be treated, a lot of this stuff could be negated. But that's not always the case, and I understand that. But I did want to stand today and tell the other side, because as a general rule, we try to do our job, and we've always tried to do it in a manner that would be respectful and do the job in the proper way. But again, I do appreciate the gentleman's attempt to make this process better and to make it where everybody feels like they had their proper day in court. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 41 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I ask a question and then speak on the bill?
He will yield to a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, I like this bill. I voted for it in committee. We've talked about it on the House floor, and I think it's a great bill. Would you explain again the certification process again, that property owners will be notified in the correct manner and make sure that they're notified?
Gentleman from Christian.
Yes, absolutely, lady from Jefferson. The property owners, they will be notified by certified mail. They will, that address will be using the address where the property tax goes to make sure we're getting to the exact address. As I said, they'll use certified mail. It will be signed for, or it may be hand delivered. But in the event, because there are some property owners that will say, I do not want to accept this from you, then at that point, the person with the condemning agency will sign by sworn statement that that property owner refused to accept delivery.
Thank you, thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for that answer. I like this bill a lot, and I really like the history lesson that you gave us, and I really appreciate that. So I urge everyone to support this piece of legislation, and I thank you for bringing that. And if you have any more history lessons, just let me know. Thank you.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 542 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 90 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 542, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is passed. Gentleman from Christian.
Move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 565 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 565 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 565, an act relating to fire protection. Representative Dossett.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Christian 9 for a history lesson, explanation of the bill, and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Christian 9 for a short explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, I'm on a roll, and I wish I had 3 or 4 more that I could do this morning. House Bill 565 is technical cleanup legislation from a portion of Senate Bill 25 from last year that was created, the local fire appeal boards process. The bill clarifies enforcement authority so the system created last year that can function as created. This is being put in place to help our local fire officials be able to enforce fire codes and ease their load. If there are no questions, I'd move passage of House Bill 565.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 565. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 91 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 565 is passed. Gentleman from Christian.
Move the clincher, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 611 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 611 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 611, an act relating to domestic relations. Representative Dietz.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the lady from Kenton, 65, for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Kenton, 65, for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please have the clerk report House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 611.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 611.
Lady from Kenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee substitute of this bill creates parity for victims of felony assaults, sexual offenses, and stalking. It creates a 10-year interpersonal protective order upon conviction for assault first and second degree when the perpetrator and victim are family members, members of an unmarried couple, or were in a dating relationship. The conviction serves as a petition and sufficient evidence for an IPO that can last up to 10 years and which can be renewed in 10-year increments. Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 611.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Lady from Kenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The rest of the bill updates the agencies that receive domestic violence data report to include AOC and the AG's office. Changes calls for service to data collected on the JC3 form to align with practice and correct data source. It creates a new data component regarding legal representation for parties in protective order hearings and updates the data component for the cabinet regarding child dependency, neglect, and abuse and family violence. Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Bill 611 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 611 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 91 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 611, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is passed. Lady from Kenton.
Move to clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 657 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time, by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 657 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 657, an act relating to professional licensing background checks. Representative Dietz.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the lady from Kenton, 65, for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Kenton, 65, for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There are 5 licensure boards that need to obtain authority in statute to apply for or receive their ORI, or Originating Agency Identifier Number. An ORI number is a 9-character code assigned by the FBI to identify the specific organization requesting and receiving a criminal background check. The 5 licensure boards that are included in this bill are the Kentucky Board of Licensed Professional Counselors, the Board of Speech-Language Pathology and Audiology, the Kentucky Board of Licensure for Occupational Therapy, the Kentucky Board of Social Work, and the Board Examiners of Psychology. Without the statutory authority, these licensure boards cannot obtain the ORI number and approval to receive the FBI fingerprint background check results and cannot comply with the requirements outlined in their interstate compacts. Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Bill 657.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 657. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 91 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 657 is passed. Lady from Kenton.
Move to clincher.
Without objection, clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 762 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time, by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is made and seconded that House Bill 762 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 762, an act relating to legal representation. Representative Dietz.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the lady from Kenton 65 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the busy lady from the Kenton 65 for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 762.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 762.
Lady from Kenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is a simple amendment. After we discussed this with DPA, there were some concerns that the way the bill was written, it could possibly exclude appellate attorneys. That was not the intent, so it simply removes the word trial. Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 762.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Lady from Kenton 65.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just as in committee, I first want to acknowledge that this bill may have my name on it, but there were lots of hands that have touched this over the years, including Chair Petrie, Representative, many, the gentleman from Todd, the gentleman from Boyle, and many others. I also want to acknowledge the hard work of Damon Preston on this bill from DPA. House Bill 762 is designed to clarify and refine how cases with DPA are handled within our courts. At its core, the bill ensures that publicly funded legal resources are directed where they are most critically needed in cases where an individual's liberty is truly at stake. House Bill 762 allows the Department of Public Advocacy to concentrate its representation on cases where incarceration is a real possibility. It also sets a salary with DPA. With that, Mr. Speaker, I move for passage of House Bill 762 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 762 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 91 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 762, as amended by House Floor Amendment 1, is passed. Lady from Kenton.
Move to clincher.
Without Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 108 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 108 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 108, an act relating to solid waste management. Representative Raymer.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Speaker, I yield to the lady from Butler for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Butler for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 108, at its core, is about fairness, local control, and protecting rural communities across the Commonwealth. For years, Kentucky law has allowed industries that generate residual waste to manage that waste through their own landfill without going through the local determination process. The intent was clear. If a facility and the landfill that serves it are located together as part of the same operation, they can manage that waste on site. In those situations, the county that hosts both the industry and the landfill also receives the benefits that come with it: job creation, occupational tax revenue, and the economic activity that that facility brings to the community. But what we have discovered is a loophole in the way the statute was written. Because of that loophole, an industry can operate in one county, purchase land in another county, and construct a residual waste landfill there without the people and local officials in that county having any meaningful say in the decision. And when that happens, the host county receiving the landfill bears the burden but receives none of the benefits. Those jobs are somewhere else. The occupational tax revenue goes somewhere else. The economic development happens somewhere else. Yet the landfill is placed in their community. That was never the intent of the law. House Bill 108 simply restores the law to what it was meant to be. If the industry and landfill are located together, nothing changes. They can continue to bypass local determination exactly as the law intended. But if they are located in separate counties, then the landfill must go through the same local determination process that every other landfill in Kentucky must follow. This issue became very real in Butler County. Because of this loophole, we were placed in a position where an outside operation could bring a landfill into our community without any local protections. It exposed this gap in our statute that had never been used before. House Bill 108 simply closes the gap. It ensures rural communities cannot be taken advantage of simply because of a technicality in state law. It restores the ability of local communities to have a voice when a landfill is proposed in their county. This bill does not shut down existing operations, it does not target any one industry, and it does not change the rules for facilities that are operating the way the law intended. Passing House Bill 108 is not just correcting a problem in one county. It is ensuring that this loophole cannot be used again to impose the same burden on any other community in the Commonwealth. Thank you, and I move passage of House Bill 108.
Question before the body's passage of House Bill 108. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Means 79 members voting aye, 8 members voting nay. House Bill 108 is passed. Lady from Butler.
Move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 67 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion's made and seconded that House Bill 67 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 67, an act relating to schools and declaring an emergency. Representative Payne.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Henderson for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Henderson for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you please have the clerk report House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 67?
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 67.
Gentleman from Henderson.
I move adoption of House Committee Substitute 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Henderson.
House Bill 67 is a cleanup measure for the well-intended Senate Bill 181 from last session. That unanimously passed piece of legislation required school employees to only communicate with a traceable system as adopted by their school district. We all united a year ago to stop minor students from being subjected to a one-on-one conversation unrelated to their academic studies that could result in inappropriate communication. I truly believe that we all still want to prevent communication of that nature. What I also hope we agree on is the need to clarify our previously enacted language so that we do not unintentionally punish our Commonwealth's great educators who are trying to shape the lives of our young people in a positive way. Some of the common cleanup measures in this bill are that it clarifies the definitions of family, qualified school volunteers, and school district employees. It includes exemptions for virtual school instruction and feedback, emergency situations, field trips, and work-based learning. It permits group messaging relevant to the school involvement when the parent is included or multiple faculty members. It details the filing procedure and revoking procedure for parent-approved exemption forms, including not allowing districts to reject those forms or require them as a condition of student participation. It allows educators to communicate with students when they are contacting on behalf of a commercial or nonprofit purpose, so long as that involvement is disclosed to the district. Consider educators who are also part-time youth pastors, own a photography business, or maybe deliver food and groceries. And finally, it requires parents to be notified when their child is a party in unauthorized contact. I would go out on a limb and say every single member of this body was contacted by a teacher, parent, or student over the interim to ask us to preserve the intent of this law while providing a common sense cleanup. And I hope that House Bill 67 can be the solution that they requested. At this time, Mr. Speaker, I would like to yield to the lady from Graves for a friendly floor amendment.
Chair recognizes the lady from Graves.
Mr. Speaker, I ask the clerk to report House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 67.
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 67.
Lady from Graves.
This amendment is quite simple, expanding the definition of family member to include nieces and nephews. Considering the complex structure of many Kentucky families, it's reasonable to expect that an adult may work or volunteer for the same school district in which their younger aunt or uncle attends. Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 67.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion of the floor amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If there are no questions, I move passage of House Bill 67 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 67 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Campbell 67 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the gentleman from Henderson a question, please?
He will yield.
So would this bill prevent kids from sharing inane social media things with their teachers?
Gentleman from Henderson.
Thank you for the question, gentlemen. So this does clarify, and there were some conversations in the original bill, would public social media posts be prohibited? This bill does clarify that a public social media post or comment would be acceptable, while private direct messaging would not be.
Okay.
Gentleman from Campbell.
Thank you. May I speak on this bill, please?
Yes, sir.
Look, I appreciate all the work you've done and a lot of people have done to clean this up. As you mentioned, look, we had the AI task force over the interim. There's a lot of other bills coming about how we're responsibly managing electronic communications and new technology. So, getting this balance is important. It's not always easy. I really appreciate what you've done here. I just have to, if I have a little bit of discretion, to just highlight one of my constituents. young man who's I don't want to veer too far off the question at hand, but young man from Southgate, Kentucky. He's was a Newport High School student and quite a good basketball player, Talon Kinney. Unfortunately, he's going to Kansas University. I don't know how that happened, but he's one of the top 20 in the country, and quite a good businessman as well. You may know of Mr. 6'7", who is Talon Kinney, friend. He's done quite well promoting himself, promoting his business, and we just want to wish him well, but also acknowledge that these new forms of social media and electronic communications can really benefit people in the state as well. So appreciate you letting me comment on that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 67 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. There being 85 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 67, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1, is passed. Gentleman from Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that concludes the orders of the day.
Next order of business is motions, petitions, communications, and announcements. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 9 be taken from the Committee on Committees, given its first reading, and then returned to the Committee on Committees.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 9, Representative Petrie, an act relating to regulated substances and declaring an emergency.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 900 be taken from the Committee on Appropriations Revenue, given its second reading, and then returned to the Committee on Appropriations and Revenue.
Without objection, so ordered. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 900, Representative Petrie, an act relating to government agencies, making an appropriation, therefore, and declaring an emergency.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, the only thing I have left is to yield to the lady from Metcalf for action on a resolution.
Chair recognizes the lady from Metcalf.
Mr. Speaker, I ask the clerk to report resolution number 85 and read it by title only.
Clerk, please report.
House Resolution 85, a resolution designating March 2026 as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month in Kentucky. Representative Neighbors.
Lady from Metcalf.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to present House Resolution 85, designating March 2026 as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. This resolution honors Mr. Scott Farnsworth, CRC survivor and board chair of the Colon Cancer Prevention Project, in their extraordinary work. For more than 23 years, this organization has worked tirelessly to end preventable colorectal cancer deaths in Kentucky through advocacy, education, improved health systems, and survivor support. Because of those efforts, we are seeing real results. Each year, an average of 650 fewer Kentuckians are diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and 270 fewer Kentuckians die from this disease. Those aren't just statistics. Those are parents, grandparents, friends, and neighbors who are still here because someone encouraged them to get screened. I am also honored to serve as the House Speaker's appointed member of the Kentucky Colon Cancer Screening and Prevention Advisory Board, where I work alongside dedicated medical professionals, advocates, and public health leaders committed to continuing this life-saving progress. It is crucial that we increase funding for this program so it can reach more Kentuckians, especially those in underserved and high-risk communities. I will continue to strongly advocate for increased and robust funding to ensure screenings remain accessible and prevention remains a priority in our Commonwealth. This resolution is personal to me. 10 years ago, I heard the words no one wants to hear: "You have cancer." In that moment, everything changes. Your priorities shift, your perspective sharpens, and you realize
quickly how precious and fragile life truly is. I stand here today as a 10-year colon cancer survivor. I am here because of early detection. I am here because screening works. And I am here because people before me fought to make awareness a priority. Yet despite progress, Kentucky continues to face a serious challenge. Colorectal cancer remains the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths among men and women in our state. We have one of the highest incidence and mortality rates in the nation. As of today, colorectal cancer is the #1 cause of cancer death in men and women in Kentucky and nationally. It is projected to become the leading cause of cancer deaths among all adults ages 20 to 49. That should get all of our attention. The good news is this: colorectal cancer is one of the most preventable and treatable cancers when caught early. Knowing your family history is critical. Screening saves lives. Lifestyle changes matter. Education matters. Conversations matter. By designating March as Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, we are not simply passing a ceremonial resolution. We are sending a message that we value prevention, that we support survivors, that we stand with families who are fighting this battle, and that we are committed to reducing these devastating numbers in our Commonwealth. As a survivor, I am deeply grateful for organizations like the Colon Cancer Prevention Project, for our nurses and physicians and community leaders like Mr. Farnsworth, and for the advocates who work every day to ensure fewer families never have to hear the words I once heard. If sharing my story encourages even one Kentuckian to schedule a screening, then it is worth it. Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of House Resolution 85.
Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Boyle. For what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, to act on a citation.
Yes, sir.
If the clerk would please report citation 63 by title only.
Clerk, please report.
Citation 63, Representative Elliott. Citation of adjournment. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby adjourn this legislative day in loving memory and honor of Michael William Mingay.
Gentleman from Boyle.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our community in Boyle County lost a wonderful citizen on Tuesday, Michael Mingay. He was tragically killed at the age of 27 in a car accident. Michael was well known not only in our community but across the state. He generously volunteered his time at the Brass Band Festival, the local barbecue festival. He was a good friend to me, worked in some of my campaigns and campaigns of many statewide elected officials who have provided very poignant words of remembrance of him this week, which I know his family appreciates very much. But he was a young man of tremendous warmth, vitality, and promise, and we remember him today for the many and generous contributions that he made to his family, friends, and community. And he will be profoundly missed by all those lives that he touched. And I ask that as the services are tomorrow, the visitation tonight, that we remember his family. And I would move adoption, Mr. Speaker.
Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Estill. For what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay. Sorry about that, Mr. Speaker. I'll turn this back over to gentleman from McCracken.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 43. For what purpose, ma'am?
To help you guys out to figure out what he's going to do. I'd like to do a Women's History moment.
Ma'am.
This generation prides itself on breaking the glass ceiling, of making sure that we use all the talents of all the Kentuckians to move Kentucky forward. It also prides itself on moving Kentucky towards the promise of America. But it didn't start here. Over 100 years ago, if you looked at this chamber, it would be all the same type of people. No women, no blacks, no nothing but white men. But this one woman, her name was Mary Elliott Flannery. She was a trailblazer for women in Southern politics. In 1921, she became the first woman elected to the Kentucky General Assembly. She was the first woman elected to any state legislator in the South. She was an educator and a journalist. She used both the classroom and the press to push for women's rights, stronger public schools, and protections for children and families. As a leader in the suffrage movement and president of the Kentucky Equal Rights Association, she helped translate the promise of the 19th Amendment, the promise of America, and the promise of Kentucky into real political power. Though she only served one term, her legacy reached far beyond it. It remained a turning point for women's representation in Kentucky and proved that advocacy, public service, and heart could reshape our government, our state, and our country, and that we could be who we say we are and live up to the promise of America. Thank you, Mary Elliott Flannery.
Thank you, lady from Jefferson. Chair recognizes the lady from Scott. For what purpose, ma'am?
To act on a citation.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you ask the clerk to please report citation number 62 by title only?
Clerk, please report.
Citation 62, Representative Grossell. Citation of Achievement. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby recognizes and honors the members of the Edith J. Hayes Middle School Dance Team.
Lady from Scott.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to recognize the Edith J. Hayes Middle School Dance Team. Last year, we welcomed many of these ladies to the Capitol Gallery, and I'm proud to share that among their most recent accomplishments, this team celebrated their 5th consecutive clean sweep at the Kentucky Dance Coaches Organization Incorporated State Dance Championships. The team was named 2026 Palm State Champions, 2026 Jazz State Champions, and 2026 Game Day State Champions, and also earned the coveted Best of the Best title reserved for the highest scoring middle school in the competition. The Edith J. Hayes Middle School Dance Team is led by coaches Taylor Adams and Erica Williams, and have demonstrated exceptional ability, perseverance, and skill, and have brought such tremendous honor and acclaim to their school, their community, and to this Commonwealth as a whole by the attainment of such a remarkable level of success and achievement. Please join me in applauding this team and extending continued best wishes. I move for adoption.
Without objection, so ordered. Any other member seeking recognition in motions, petitions, communications, and announcements? Seeing none, the next order of business is introduction of new resolutions. Clerk, please report.
House Resolution 116, Representative Roberts, a resolution urging the Legislative Research Commission to direct the Legislative Oversight and Investigations Committee to investigate the misuse of state resources of the executive branch.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is a meeting of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, the House would be in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk.
Without objection, the House will stand in recess for a meeting of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk. House come to order. Next order of business, report of Committee on Committees and Rules Committee. Clerk, please report.
The Committee on Committees has met and referred the following bills and resolutions to Appropriations and Revenue: Senate Bills 51 and 90, House Bills 9 and 785. To Economic Development and Workforce Investment, House Bill 781. To Families and Children, Senate Bills 160 and 191. To Health Services, House Bill 786. To the Judiciary, House Bills 780 and 784. To Licensing, Occupations, and Administrative Regulations, House Bill 777. To Post-Secondary Education, House Bill 782. To Primary and Secondary Education, House Bill 779. To Transportation, House Bill 783. The Committee on Committees has reassigned to Veterans, Military Affairs, and Public Protection, House Bill 652 from Appropriations and Revenue. The Rules Committee has met and has posted the following bills and resolutions to the regular orders for Monday, March 9th, 2026. House Bills 571, 613, 667, 669, 677, 685, 713, and 759.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business, introduction of floor amendments. Please report.
House Floor Amendment 8 to House Bill 227 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Grossel. House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 468, Representative Elliott. And House Floor Amendment 2 to House Bill 571 with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Holloway.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is adjournment. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Estill at the gentleman from McCracken's desk. It's your time, gentleman from Estill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate that. I move that the House shall stand adjourned until 4 p.m. Monday, March 9th, the year of our Lord, 2026. Thank you, sir.
Without objection, the House shall stand adjourned until Monday, 4 p.m. Monday, March 9th, the year of our Lord, 2026.